how do you introduce someone that has really changed the world in many ways, that has brought ancient mystery to real life, that has brought this, so much attention to this part of the world, that has brought the word pyramid into something that's happening right in front of our noses, right under our feet, that has turned in a mysterious site in Bosnia into the most active pyramid research site in the world today. Well, Samiros Managic is probably the world's most knowledgeable person on pyramids, and he's also the only person that I know or have heard of that's ever walked on the Chinese pyramids. And that's something serious, because most people don't even know there are pyramids in China. So not only that, but he has really redefined and reignited the craze about pyramids and a deep understanding, and reignited the study of pyramids. And together with Valery Uvarov, we've got probably the world's most knowledgeable pyramid experts under one roof today. It's quite amazing. So not only has he brought all this excitement into this part of the world and brought pyramids top of mind, but he's also the most handsome of the Indiana Jones, real life Indiana Jones. I mean, Indiana Jones wishes he looked like Samiros Managic. Look at that. If that's not a movie picture, then I don't know. So I think you're in for a big treat now. I look forward to listening to Sam myself, and thank you for coming out and supporting this tour. And I'd like to invite my friend Samiros Managic to come and share his amazing knowledge with you.
Thank you, Michael, man of many talents. Thank you. Thank you to the organizers, our gong players, and three most powerful geometrical shapes when it comes to energy are the shape of the pyramid, the sphere, and the conical shape. And that's the reason why the ancient civilizations were building pyramids, stone balls, and the tumulus. 1940, American United Fruit Company was planting the banana trees in southern Costa Rica. So they were clearing the jungle, less than 1%, with the mechanization, going 5 meters deep. And they discovered 398 stone balls from extremely hard material called granodiorite, perfectly spherical. According to the archaeologists and San Jose Museum, those stone balls were rank symbols and possibly territorial marks for the tribes that lived there. Now, granodiorite is a type of granite. Today, in order to shape the granite, we use diamond tools. There are only 2 tribes living in Costa Rica thousands of years back. I visited both of them. Even today, they have no technology to shape granite. Some of the pieces are in front of the schools, in front of the National Parliament, in the museum in San Jose. The biggest stone ball discovered in Costa Rica is 35 tons in mass. Again, perfectly spherical, error from the perfect sphere less 102%. Different sizes, from smaller one to real big ones. The Pacific island of Isla del Cano has stone balls. This time the material is different. It's called coquina. Coquina is the combination between the limestone and seashells. Extremely hard material. Stone balls are found on Antarctica. Well, we know that for the last 100,000 years, we've been having ice on this continent. They really witness the civilizations before 100,000 years ago. Stone balls in the Czech Republic, deep in the stone. Imagine how much time you need for the stone to form above the stone balls. Stone balls on the New Zealand shore. Now, the geologists are trying to give the explanation about their origin using those sophisticated terminology, so complicated that you give up and you simply start believing them. They're saying that these boulders, not the stone balls, are grey-colored Septarian concretions which have been exhumed from the mudstone. So you are thinking, well, this is very scientific, probably they know what they are talking about. Stone balls on Easter Island, 4,000 kilometers from the South American soil and 10,000 kilometers away from Tahiti. Volcanic stones. One big one and 4 smaller ones. This is the only one that I found in the world that is still active. You put the compass on top of it, the needle goes around like crazy. According to the local legends, in order to move the famous stone heads on the island, the locals were coming here using their mental powers to move them across the island. That's the reason why they call this place the Golden Navel of the world. Stone balls on the Canary Islands, the island of Tenerife, under Pyramid number 2, as they call them, there was a tunnel, and this is where they discovered the stone ball. Stone balls in southwestern Egypt, in the desert, several meters below the limestone. No interruptions here, this is sedimentation. Imagine how many hundreds of thousands of years for them to get there. Stone balls in Ahuasca, in western Mexico, but also the locations of Piedra Bola. This is western Mexico, the state of Guadalajara. 250 of them, volcanic stone. In 1966, an archaeologist from the United States came to the site. It took him 3 days walk, and then he saw 250 stone balls. He was amazed. He said, according to any reference, there was no civilization in this western part of Mexico. The Mayas, Teotihuacan, Olmecs, Zapotecs, they were hundreds of kilometers to the east. He was very enthusiastic about it. And then the National Geographic magazine decided to form an expedition. 2 geologists and 1 archaeologist. They spent 3 days, they came back, and in 1969, in August, on the cover of the National magazine, there was a big title, Mystery of Mexican Stone Balls Solved. They are of natural origin. And the geologist there, Dr. Robert Smith, is saying, in the volcano, which is 30 kilometers away, 10 million years ago, never before and never after, during the eruptions, only perfectly spherical stone balls were generated in the volcano. And then they were hitting those stone balls during the eruption only to the top of the one hill in the area less than quarter square kilometer. So if you have 30 kilometers radius, 30 by 30, it's 900 square kilometers. And all of them came to this particular location. And they remained there. Every time before and after, this volcano was generating only irregularly shaped stones. Some of them are reaching 40 tons. These are the biggest one I saw in the world. Now, here we can see the holes. In the 1960s, there was a rumor among the local community that in the center of the stone balls there was a treasure, gold, diamonds. So the locals came, they drilled the hole, put dynamite, blow everything out. The first one, they did not find the gold. But they did the second one, they destroyed the third one, they destroyed 80% of the stone balls on this location. Looked like it was in someone's interest to destroy those pieces that were proof of advanced civilizations from distant past. And in the meantime, our mainstream science is giving us nothing but nonsense as their explanation. And they expect us to believe them. Western Serbia, Kremna, 2005, big fire, and this stone ball was gone. Hagia Sophia, Istanbul, the stone ball survived several civilizations, Christians, Muslims, pagans, because for them it was not so interesting. Stone balls in northern Albania, some of them perfectly preserved, some of them destroyed. At this point, only one of them was brought to the Geological Institute in Tirana. Stone balls here, in Dalmatinska Zagara, just behind Šibenik, 5 of them. Our foundation, called Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, has been detecting and researching stone balls on the territory of Bosnia. So far, we discovered 20 different locations. Those, like northeastern Bosnia, Telčak near Tuzla, are shaped from granite. Granite never comes spherical in free state. You always have to shape it. Again, very advanced technology. In the middle part of the country, Konjic, when 40 years ago they were digging the tunnels for the road, 40 meters below the soil, below the ground level, they discovered volcanic stone balls, nicely polished. The biggest one is in the village Slatina, near Banja Luka, 5 tons. This one is not finished. See how the surface is not polished. Sometimes we found them on the top of the mountains, like this one, between Kakan and Zenica municipality, minus 18 degrees. And sometimes we found them unfinished. We had a leading Egyptian geologist, El Anbawi, a few years back. And he was coming to Visoko, and he said the pyramids in Bosnia were actually shaped during the glacial era. The glacier came and they were shaping 4 sides. And then we brought him to Zavidović. He was looking at stone balls and he said it was also from the glacial activity, glaciers, and they were shaping perfectly spherical stone balls. Now, what to say for this one? It's unfinished. It seems halfway the glacier got tired and decided to give up. largest location of the stone balls in Bosnia is in the middle of Bosnia, a place called Zavidović, 2 kilometers from the center, Duboki Potok. In 2006, I first came there. I saw the stone balls. But at that time, this area was used as a place to leave the trash. A lot of plastic bags, all kinds of garbage. So I asked the local community to clear area and to make this a touristic attraction. So today, we bring tourists, we bring researchers, we bring media. The mainstream science in Bosnia is saying that those stone balls were made by the wind and the water. No further explanation. They are saying it's natural, we made our opinion, you should not research it. Well, we disagree. We think there is a lot to research there. In 1936, a huge storm hit the hill. Hill opened. 80 stone balls came out. Some of them went further to River Bosna, some of them remained here. And then in the 1960s, there were rumors among the locals that there was a big treasure inside the stone balls. Instead of dynamite, Bosnian came with a hammer, started destroying them. The first one, no treasure, doesn't matter. Let's try the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. Only 8 stone balls remain today. Now, we went a step further. We have done the analysis, physical analysis, chemical analysis. We took 4 samples from the damaged stone balls and 1 sample from the natural stone. 9 elements were the same. They were coming in the same ratio. Stone balls had 2 different elements. The one is manganium, which we use today to enhance the quality of the material, to make it harder. And the second one is calcium carbonate, which is used as the binder. Our conclusion was the ancients were using natural stone material. They were melting it, adding the additives to make it harder and stronger, pouring into the molds, and when they got dry, they were extremely hard and polished stone balls. I think that it's easy to conclude that the world of the past was the world of the stone balls, always made from the extremely hard material. The next question is, what was the purpose? Archaeologists, geologists cannot help us. In order to explain the purpose, I had to go to Sweden, 150 kilometers to the west from the capital city of Stockholm. Over there, there is a location known under the name Anand Shock. 2 megalithic circles. As we can see, they form number 8. 8, endless flow of the energy. And in the middle, we got stone balls. I came to the site with the president of the Swedish Association of Dowsers, Eva Svensson. Eva can measure the energies, the aura, bioenergy field around our body. So she said, let me measure your aura before you enter the megalithic circle. She was measuring. She said, your aura is about 1 meter thick. It's a good field. Now go ahead and climb the ball, which I did. And then she was measuring my aura. She said, 1 meter, 2 meters, 5 meters, 15 meters. Mother Teresa had an aura of 18 meters. And I told Eva, wait another 2 minutes. my aura will be 150 meters. I felt like I was on the top of the world. So, the megalithic sites, they expand your aura field. And then she told me, go ahead and climb the top of the tumulus. In archaeology, the tumulus is artificial hill, conically shaped. And as you can see, the top of this one is exactly the line of the ball, which is in the center of the megalithic circle. So I climbed the top. She put the metal keys under my feet. Metal conductor. And then she was measuring the energy flow through my chakras. 7 chakras in our physical body. I know from before that my 4th chakra, the heart chakra, is the most open. Heart chakra, love. Heart chakra, sharing. But when she came to my 7th chakra, on top of my head, she said, it looks like all energy of this planet is going through you. So smooth, so open they were. And then I realized, you come to the megalithic sites, they expand your energy field, your aura. You have perfect energy flow through your body. And you have the base to develop the spiritual senses. Today in the 21st century, we are talking about 5 physical and 1 spiritual sense, which we usually call the 6th sense. If somebody has a gift to see the future, to hear, just say go. He or she has a gift. But then, those kids, they come to the schools, other kids are laughing at them. They are mocking them. So, they don't try to develop those senses anymore. They go back to their 5 physical senses. Our educational system limits us just to the physical being. And then during education, it limits us some more. 40 years ago, we were more creative than the kids today. They rely completely on our technological gadgets. But in the ancient times, they knew that besides 5 physical, there were 30 spiritual senses. 30 spiritual senses. Every physical sense has its counterpart on spiritual level. We can hear only from 10 hertz to 20 kilohertz. With the spiritual sense, we can hear more. We can see more. We can sense more. These are first 5 spiritual senses. Today in archaeology, when they talk about advanced societies, they say the sign of advanced society is writing. If the civilization does not have proof of writing, before ancient Greek and before ancient Romans and before ancient Babylonians, the mainstream science claims they were primitive. Really? If I write a little paragraph and give it to those 5 persons in the first row, they're going to understand my paragraph differently. Each of them slightly different, based on their education, skills, life experience. Meaning, writing is not the most precise way of communication. But if I'm able to transfer my thoughts to him or to her completely, they would understand me 100%. A telepathy, a spiritual sense. Some of the ancient sites, especially pyramids, they would create such a powerful energy field that you would be literally able to go through this field as through the gate. Teleportation. In other spiritual sense. We all have aura. And really, it's rather easy to develop techniques to see aura. You get your fingers one next to each other, focus in between, and you will see a little field. You cannot touch it, but you can see it. The first field of aura. And then, with the time, you can see the second one, third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one, and the seventh one. Seeing the aura, spiritual sense. But then every field is different color. Different colors, different meanings. White, wise. So seeing different colors, you know exactly what kind of person is in front of you. Sometimes, if you can see the aura, we see that there is a discontinuation of the energy field. There is energy leak. Energy leaks, there is a hole, disease comes. We come to the person, give them some of our energy, and we patch the hole. A healing capability, in another spiritual sense. During the 1970s, during the Cold War, institutes in Russia, Soviet Union, in America, and Czechoslovakia, they were developing abilities of their people, the power of their minds. I remember movies from 1970s. The woman, she had a fork under the glass. The power of her mind, she was bending the fork. Telekinesis. In another spiritual sense. We travel, we meet people at the airports, get to know them 10-15 minutes, and then we hear some very important things from them, a message. And then we realized that this message was more important than our life with some persons, 10 years, or our friendship with other guys, 5, 10, or 15 years. As a matter of fact, every person we cross paths with has a message for us. Sometimes we are shy, we think that we don't have the time, and we don't get a message. Now, imagine this scenario. You can see the aura. You meet the person face to face. You are just looking the aura and looking for the messages for you. And this person is looking for the message for him, for her. In other spiritual sense. Spirituality. According to the book called Encyclopedia Britannica, when it comes to the definition, the book is saying the term spirituality is linked to the religious ceremonies and religious songs. For them, spirituality equals religion, religious. In our schools, spirituality, oh, they were spiritual, they were religious. Wrong. Forget it. Spirituality is about learning through the spiritual senses about the world which is beyond our limited physical senses. Spirituality. Now let's go to the second geometrical shape, which is the most powerful, the shape of the pyramid. What are the pyramids? Again, the ultimate scientific source, Encyclopedia Britannica, from 1678, on the page 1529, edition 2000. He's saying the pyramids of ancient Egypt were royal tombs. No? Let's get inside of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the Cheops Pyramid. Huge megalithic passageways, but no paintings on the walls. Chambers, but they are empty. No royal furniture, no hieroglyphic writings, no mummies, no tombs, no tools, no organic material. materials, no symbols, not a single proof. Who, when, how, why? The time will show that 200 years of Egyptology, supported by the Hollywood movies, about the purpose of the oldest and biggest Egyptian pyramids is nothing but the biggest hoax in history. We talk to the common people about King Tutankhamun. They'll tell you, oh yeah, that was a pharaoh who was buried in the pyramid. What pyramid? That's the only pharaoh that was found. But in the Valley of Kings, 300 kilometers to the south from Giza pyramids. In the Stone Hill, Cleopatra, no pyramids. Ramesses II, no pyramids. The Mesoamerican pyramids, according to Encyclopedia Britannica, pyramids in Meso and South America were used for rituals, including human sacrifice. Of course, because they are so primitive. Really. No human sacrifice. Just one, the most recent civilization, the Aztecs, 600 years ago, 800 years ago. Everybody else, what we called, but we made up the names. The Mayan civilization, we don't know their real name. Olmec civilization, we don't know their real name. Zapotecs, Montalban, we don't know their real names. Never human sacrifice took place on their pyramids. Look at this one, Kukulkan in Chichen Itza, eastern Yucatan, Mexico. Only 2 days, spring and fall equinox. The play of the sun and the shadow creates the body of snake with the dragon head at the bottom. Precise, genius. The last 7-8 years I've been coming to Zagreb, and through my books you already know that the pyramids were built all around the world, on all 5 continents. Encyclopedia Britannica is not saying that. Just brief reminder, 224 Nubian pyramids, northern Sudan, 43 pyramids on the island of Sicily, volcanic stone, tens of pyramids, to be exact, 103 on the Canary Islands, most of them on Tenerife. 7 pyramids on island of Mauritius, in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And as you know, the government of the Mauritius, when they got my letter, in which I offered cooperation, they said, Mr. Osmanagic, we don't have pyramids. What you're looking there is just pile of rocks made by local farmers hundreds of years ago when they were clearing the land to plant the sugarcane fields. In Mesoamerica, not 100, not 5, not 1,000, 100,000 pyramids. Mayan pyramids, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, 95% being still covered by soil in the middle of the jungle. This is the pyramid in Tikal, 94 meters high, Guatemalan province of Petén. Pyramids in Peru, 300 of them. Encyclopedia Britannica is not talking about the Kavachi pyramids, 34 of them. Kochker pyramids in Cambodia, Southeast Asia. The Chinese pyramids, completely covered by soil. And after 1967, by the plants. When Chinese archaeologists came to Japan, 1967, he said we have 250 pyramids in central Chinese province of Shaanxi. We found clay tablets with some type of the symbolical hieroglyphic writings. And he said also, the biggest pyramids were over 12,000 years old. Came back, they put him into the mental hospital. Nobody saw him anymore. 1967, the first year of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. You had opinion different than mainstream. You would have a good time. After that, the Chinese government planted the trees on the top of the pyramids, wanted to show them as natural hills. Even today, all the biggest pyramids are covered by soil vegetation. Some smaller ones, inferior, which came much later by Chinese emperors, have been excavated. Pyramids of the US soil, the state of Illinois, 250 pyramids. We don't learn about them in our textbooks in the States and in Europe. In America, they call them mounds. This particular park, Cahokia Mounds. Mounds is something made from dirt, soil. But here, we have 4 types of construction materials. Sandstone, blocks, pebbles, rocks, sand. When they completed the structure, they cut the squares of grass and soil, put it upside down, and cover the pyramids. The biggest one, and we can nicely see these 4-sided pyramids, 4 triangular faces, plateau on the top, perfect orientation, east-west, north-south. The biggest one is 12% bigger, larger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. But it was not built by white Americans or red Americans. It is much, much older. So they don't talk about them. They don't do any excavation. Archaeologists at the site told me, first, it's hard to get permission. Second, it's hard to find money to excavate. Money, the only world superpower, the complex that changes the history of the world. Or, of course, in my books. About the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we talked several locations. The biggest one, the oldest on the planet, Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Town of Visoko, 20,000 people, January 2015. Well, in the last 10 years, you've been witnessing that so many people are attacking us, from the cultural establishment, archaeologists, geologists, historians, anthropologists, museum curators, scientists of all sorts, mainstream science, but also, not only them, some from the alternative scene as well. Last month there was an article in the Straits Times in Singapore. After my visit I gave the interview. 10 years after, you would expect it would be less aggressive attacks. But no. For example, this gentleman, Curtis Radans from Boston University, is saying the cultures capable of producing such colossal buildings came about to Bosnia, this region, only 2,500 years ago, meaning before that primitive cavemen. So we have a presence of intelligent men in Bosnia for 2,500 years. And I don't know what happened to those intelligent men today. It seems that these gentlemen from Boston University do not read reports from sensational archaeological discoveries. 1995, Dr. Klaus Schmidt from Germany discovered a site known as Göbekli Tepe in eastern Turkey. He discovered those T-shaped megaliths erected, 3 circles. When I talked to him, he said there are probably 100 circles. One circle would be very challenging for any community until the 19th century. Hundreds of them, even for us, a huge task. Those blocks, 25 tons. But he said, we are not going to excavate any further. Well, we have to know that he was financed by the German Archaeological Society from Berlin, the most conservative archaeological institution in the world. And It was supported also by the same society from Kiel, Germany. The age of the site, 11,600 years. 11,600. Now, according to the mainstream science, everything started with Sumerians 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. Babylon, Akkad, Assyria, Hittite, ancient Egypt, ancient India. So what is this now? Carl Schmitt told me that the probable age of the building is between 15,000 and 18,000 years, much before the end of the last ice age. But he was not supposed to build anymore. So a year and a half ago, he passed away due to the massive heart attack. A sign of the death which were very popular in 1970s and 1980s during the last Cold War. A lot of interesting megalithic sites, my new book a month ago. This one is in Bosnia. New Archaeology, Megaliths and Energy of the Planet. Another guy, August 2015, Dr. Stewart, University of Michigan. There were warning reports that he and his team have sculpted the sides of these natural hills. Sculpted. These are the biggest pyramids on the planet. Bosnians. Wow. Construction genius. Into something they think that resemble pyramid. They think, Muyo, stupid Bosnians, they think this is a pyramid, but they don't even, sculpted it right. In the process, stripping away sediments which contains layers of actual archaeology, because this is fictional archaeology, that's what we do, from medieval and earlier periods. Gosh, when I read this, is there police here? Dr. Robert Schoch, the guy who claimed to be a part of the alternative scientific scene, he said, Osman Nagic started the project because of his future engagement in politics. It was 2006. We were walking in Sarajevo with our heads. People were stopping me, congratulating me. They were saying, hey, you're the only hope for Bosnia. You're not corrupted. You're doing the right stuff. You're spending your own money. We need positive news from this country. I apologize to the translators. And then he's looking at, he wants to be elected. But in Bosnia, politics means corruption. So I don't want to get elected. His desire to make money. I have business in Houston, through which I've been financing this project in the last 10 years. And this project was a fiasco, he said in 2007. And the pyramids are classical geological phenomenon, but not a single other example he gave. Our very good friend, Dr. Zahi Hawass, very calm man. Not. First reports from Bosnia, he sent one guy, Dr. Ali Baraka. He said, yes, they have pyramids. We went to the meeting in Cairo. After the meeting, he said, there are no pyramids in Bosnia. So-called concrete blocks are natural blocks. And Mr. Osman Nagic is hallucinating. In the meantime, this guy who was ruling the world of archaeology for 2 decades, running Egyptian Institution for the Antiquities, was found that he stole $2 billion during his rule. Every documentary had to have him as the main actor, and they are supposed to pay him. Every guy who wanted to spend the night at the pyramids had to pay him personally. Every tourist group wanted to go to the forbidden sites. That's what his invention. Had to pay him. Dr. Zahi Hawass. Now, the mainstream science. Let's see the alternative scene in independent researchers. In 1967, Chariots of Gods, the guy from Switzerland, from his hotel directly to the independent research, going to different sites, reading the Bible, other ancient texts, saying, hey, the mainstream science does not explain this side, or that side, or this epic story, or this one. Very important, Erich von Däniken. Remember how he was igniting our ideas about different world, our imagination. In the last 4.5 decades, 62 million copies of his books. He has really opened mind to so many of us. But he was not a scientist. No scientific methodology. And that's the reason why mainstream science had to find a way to argue with him. In other way, of course, they put him in the prison for 6 years. So, after him, in 1990s, we have Generation 2.0. You know, Windows 95, Windows 2000, Windows 2005, 2010, XP, Generation 2.0. Graham Hancock, great guy from United Kingdom as far as the research. After his journalism career in Africa, he started writing about those sites. And then he opened our mind even more, saying, hey, before the end of the last ice age, there were superior civilizations. Now they are gone. But there are few material traces. Very important research. David Hatcher Childress is a proof that you can do stuff in the middle school. You can travel the world, become popular, issue the magazine and the books, talking about so many different sites from Pacifica, Atlantic, other places. The idea about the Orion belt, those 3 stars, and the Giza pyramids, Robert Boval's books, gave us another perspective, astronomical, very important, but not so important. Of course, other guys came, like Andrew Collins, saying, no, it's not Orion belt, it's 3 stars of Cygnus, because they fit much better. People like John Anthony West, and those who really promoted, like Dr. Robert Schoch, Generation 2.0. These guys were relying, to some extent, on the scientific work of other people. But in reality, they did not have their projects. They did not run archaeological crews. No radiocarbon dating by themselves. No lab analysis. No sample testing. Generation 2.0. So, not a real scientist. 2010s, Generation 3.0. Let's see their software. Dr. Danny Hillman, Indonesia, geologist, PhD, obtained in the US, in California. Came back to his country. He knows how to read geophysical reports, maps, geothermal, satellite screening. He knows geology, he knows archaeology. Looking the maps, Western Java, Gunung Padang location. Hey, in this jungle, below the layers of soil and vegetation, there is a pyramidal shape. A scientist. But he wrote a book about the Atlantis. Open-minded scientist. The Generation 3.0. Pyramid in Western Java, 23,000 years old. Last year, he wanted to do excavation. The archaeological community is against him. They're saying on the top, there is a Buddhist temple 2,500 years ago. It's a national monument. You cannot touch it. You're going to destroy it. But below there is another cultural layer, 5,000. And below another one, 10,000. And below another one, the original pyramid, 23,000 years old. He went to the president. The president said, this is good for the country. He gave him 200 soldiers to start digging. So we're going to learn about the results very soon. The gentleman who you just heard, Michael Tellinger, megalithic circles, Adam's calendar, astronomy, electromagnetism, ultrasound, frequencies, sound, levitation, measurements, scientific methodology. Valery Orlov, he built pyramids, applying all the knowledge from the ancient and modern sites: shape, orientation, chambers, cavities, water flow, quartz crystal, frequencies. Another Russian, Alexander Golod, has been building pyramids near Moscow. No, 17 pyramids. And his work includes medicine, testing on agricultural products, seeds especially. It's been proved that seeds grow 30 to 300% quicker, richer, better. Radioactivity, superconductivity, electrical, chemical, and other aspects. And of course the Bosnian Pyramid Project, which has become, number one, the interdisciplinary scientific project. We have classical sciences, archaeology, Egyptology, geology, paleontology, pedology. We have satellite screening, high-tech devices, geothermal, georadar analysis. We have energy experts, interdisciplinary scientific approach in archaeology. So, not like in Egypt, unlike in China or Peru or Mexico, the site does not belong to archaeologists exclusively. But then we said, hey, there is another aspect, energy aspect. There is another one, spiritual aura, spiritual senses. And another one, healing aspects. What is the problem with the alternative scientists? We need to define the definition of the pyramid, because what they read in the book is wrong. Both alternative, mainstream, at the wrong source. So let's make that definition tonight. Number one, in order to call something a pyramid, you have to have geometry of the pyramid. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 4 sides, triangular faces, the same slope from bottom to the top, corners. Those 4 sides meet at apex. The geometry of the pyramid is present here. Those of you who have not seen aerial view of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 2 rivers, River Vodica, River Bosna, town of Visoko, eastern slope, northern slope of the Sun Pyramid. We can see the forest, which was planted in 1960s and 1970s during our popular process of socijalističko pošumljavanje. So, the second element, the construction material. In Guatemala, shaped volcanic stone. In Peru, adobe bricks. In Egypt, limestone, granite. China, sandstone, granite. Bosnia, blocks, concrete blocks. And I spoke about them in the previous lectures in Zagreb. The biggest archaeological trench we have, 50 meters long, 60 meters wide at this point. Thousands of tons of concrete, better quality than what we can make today. So, if pyramid here is cleared completely, what we did here, we removed this green color. Only remove the color. Shape remained. Look what happened. We put brownish color, a pyramid, stone structure. The next element, the orientation of the sides. 4-sided pyramids, 4 cardinal points, east, west, north, south. North being the most important. Why the orientation is important? Our planet is a huge energy ball. The strongest energy flow, north-south. Second strongest, east-west. You build a pyramid, perfectly oriented. It initiates energy flow within the pyramid. So far we thought the best orientation is the northern face of the Great Pyramid of Egypt. The error from perfect north, 0 degrees and 2 minutes. What we have in Bosnia, the error, according to the State Institute for Geodesy, 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and only 12 seconds after applying the scientific instrumentation. The most precise orientation on the planet. Number 4, inner chambers. So far we have only some georadar reports telling us that those circles, there are a lot of chambers inside the Sun Pyramid at different depths. Number 5, underground tunnels under every oldest and the most superior pyramid complex, underground tunnels. Number 6, water. In Visoko Valley, we have 2 major rivers. To the right, River Fonica and River Bosna, flowing up to the north to River Sava, the largest in Croatia, then to River Danube, the largest in several countries to the east. And a lot of underground water flows. Water extremely important. Number 7, sacred geometry. The elements of sacred geometry are the numbers like number pi or p, 3.14. Then the golden cut, 1.618. Then the numbers like square root of number 2 and number 3. Why those numbers? Because they are endless. Call them irrational numbers. Number pi is 3.14159265358 billions of numbers, billions of digits. For the ancients, irrational numbers were alive. You incorporate them to the pyramids. The message is the pyramids are alive too. In the case of Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, if you want to calculate the diagonal and the length of the sides of the base, we need to apply square root of number 2 or number 3. Plus, when we connect the tops of the Sun, Moon, and Dragon Pyramid, we're getting perfect equilateral triangle. The distance between the tops, 2,180 meters, 2,180, 2,180. Inner angles, 60 degrees. Equilateral triangle is perfect geometrical shape and as such part of the sacred geometry. The top of the love, temple of Mother Earth, river, tunnel entrance, another equilateral triangle. Triangle within a triangle, sacred, holy geometry. Sacred geometry equals flow of the energy. The Great Pyramid of Egypt, 231 meters, 231, 462, divided by height, 147, result is 3.14. 462, get your iPhones, divided by 147, 3.14, number pi, in front of our eyes. If Pharaoh, Cheops, built it 4,500 years ago, how come humanity learned about the number pi only 2,000 years later with the ancient Greek mathematician? The element number 8, the location of the pyramids. It's like in the restaurant business. Location, location, location. Here, the same thing. It has to be built over the potent energy places. In our case, below the pyramid, according to 3 labs, huge iron plate or iron ore. Second, a lot of underground water flows. If they are parallel, in between, the electricity is formed. Third, natural magnetism. Fourth, water moves, negative ions are released. What the pyramid does, it sucks all these different energy types, amplified. So, energy potent places. 8 elements to define the pyramid. And the Bosnian pyramids fulfill all of them. This is what we call a science. Give me a set of parameters, a scientific criteria. Let's see if they fit, they do. It's a pyramid. Not a classical example of geological phenomena. So now we have those 8 elements fulfilled. Now we need to get certain result. What is the result? Energy phenomena. If we have all these 8 elements, then the pyramid has to produce different energy phenomena. Now, our friend from London, Dr. Harry Oldfield, he developed a camera, which he called PIP camera, with which he can film those, as he called them, bioenergy field, which are not visible to the naked human eye. Now, this is a pointy, natural hill in Bosnia. Above this hill, we can see those bioenergy fields, different colors, blue, and green, and red, and rose, and green, and blue. They are horizontal and they are still. And then this is a Bosnian village. Look at those fields, green, horizontal, red, rose, green, blue, red, green, light blue, horizontal. And now this is the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which was filmed just a few days ago, September 4. Look how beautiful, vertical those fields are. Green and blue and red and pink. Why is that? This is a photo from 2007, 8 years back. We've been filming the pyramid for the last 8 years. The results are always the same. Vertical energy lines. And now we're going to see why. The energy is getting released through the top of the pyramids, hitting those horizontal lines, they are becoming vertical. And now there is a dance between the pyramid and what's above. Since we have been filming this for 8 years, and those energy fields are always vertical, it means there is a constant flow of the energy through the pyramids, meaning it does work as some type of the energy machine, continuously. This is the result. And again, why so many mainstream and alternative scientists still attack the Bosnian Pyramid Project 10 years after the hypothesis? Number one, they are not scientists. They are not discussing scientific arguments. They are saying, this guy is a bad guy, he wants to make money, don't trust him. Even if I'm a bad guy, it has nothing to do with the fact that pyramids exist in Bosnia. Their problem is, they rely on the book, on the dogma, and not the scientific criteria. They rely on the book. So, the book is a problem. What do we do when we have a problem in our lives? We try to resolve the problem. We get rid of the problem. Number two, this is a history-changing project. It's not just another archaeological discovery. in remote Bosnia. No. The big pyramid of the sun in the Teotihuacan, 74 meters, huge. The great pyramid of Egypt, 147, the most magnificent. For the longest time considered the biggest. More than 220 meters. You don't build the biggest pyramid just anywhere. A history-changing project. And now it comes to the age. How old are those pyramids? Well, the most precise scientific method is the radiocarbon dating. You find a piece of organic material, you have the context, analyzed, you get the age. In our case, it would be ideal that below the soil and below the first 1 or 2 layers of concrete, if we can discover the organic material, it can give us precise age of the structure when it was built. That's exactly what happened. 2013, our archaeological manager, Tim Moon from New Zealand, the country of rugby, below the first layer of blocks and above the second, like in the sandwich, he discovered a piece of the organic material. This one here, the fossilized leaf. 1, 2. Now, these leaves will give us the precise age of the construction. Send them to the radiocarbon dating service in Kiev, and the age. Slow down to the bottom, 29,200 plus minus 400 years. 29,200. But this is a radiocarbon date. Now the calibrated date or the calendar date is about 15% more. So it comes to 34,000 years. So at this point, the science is telling us the Bosnian pyramid of the sun is 34,000 years old. The oldest, the biggest, the most superior, history-changing project. So what do we do now? With our stories about Sumerians and Babylon and Akkad, we have to change the history books. You don't just add one little paragraph in the beginning. Oh, by the way, there are some pyramids in Bosnia. No. You change the beginning. You have to change everything that followed. Next element. Archaeology is known as the most conservative science. You have to be a selected one, a politically correct, to go and dig in Egypt, or China, Mexico, Peru. There is a digging right now in front and in the back of the Sphinx. If you go there, you can see 2 wooden pallets, and they cover the holes. They are digging at night. So last time I was there, I spoke to the Giza director and asked him, what did you find so far? Because of all the story about Atlantis, having the underground chambers, with a lot of documentation. So I asked him, what did you find so far? His answer was, it is confidential. Why is it confidential? The knowledge belongs to all of us, not to the selected few. So they can make a monopoly based on the knowledge they have. What we did, we made our project the most open archaeological and scientific project ever. No secrets, no elites, no selection of information. We have our archaeologists, geologists, but then everybody else is welcome. Last month, in Visoko, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, the group of volunteers led by the young archaeologist Anela, degree from University College from London, UCL.
Yes. How's it going with the volunteers today?
Good.
Dobro. Wow.
You need to take photos of this group. I think
Let's do that.
Like a photo shoot.
Okay.
Right, guys, Jock's going to take photos of you.
Just act naturally.
I came from Illinois. I did about 2 years of research before I came here. Saw a video of Bosnian pyramids, which I had never heard of. At that time, of course, like most people, I thought of pyramids, I thought Egypt and Mexico. Kind of went down the rabbit hole from there, learned what this was about, learned about all the energy properties and energy phenomenon that's being found here, and felt something in my soul to take me there. Today, we're clearing the northern face of the Sun Pyramid. So this has been cleared by previous groups.
This is Bosnia today. Not the one that we used to, the country of war and violence and war criminals, the most corrupted, the least developed, negative. It's a country of archaeology and the tourists, media with the good reports, the positive news. We've been changing the image of this country. In the last 6 years only, we've had 2,200 volunteers from 62 countries, from 5 continents. The media are saying, well, we like negative news. People like negative news. No, that's what media do. That's one of the reasons why they don't talk about us. The next reason why they don't like us, we redefine the purpose of pyramids. We don't go by the book. In order to do that, we had to go to the experts for the energy phenomena. The first one who came, a physicist from Zagreb, Slobodan Mizrak, he came with his 10-member team in 2010, measuring electromagnetism on the nearby hills, no anomalies. On the top of the Sun Pyramid, the radius of 4.5 meters, he detected and measured electromagnetic field of 28 kilohertz frequency. He went outside this radius, no measurement. Came back in, the measurement was there. So, the conclusion was electromagnetism does not go left and right, but it goes up as the energy beam. 3 months later, Serbian electrical engineer, Goran Marjanovic, brought his equipment and he got the same measurement, 28 kilohertz. Later that summer, sound engineer from Finland, Heikki Savolainen, with his equipment, confirmed 28 kilohertz frequency. And then, Italian anthropology professor, Paolo De Bertolis, confirmed the same readings. When in science, you have 4 independent teams who come at 4 different times, who bring their 4 different equipment, and they all get the same results. It is called independent scientific verification of the phenomenon. Which phenomenon? This one here. Energy beam going through the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which is electromagnetic in nature, of the frequency of 28 kilohertz, which is focused and which is continuous. Because we've been measuring it during the winter, fall, spring, and summer. So what we have here, it's not only the biggest pyramid on the planet, but the oldest energy machine that has been working continuously for at least 34,000 years, being the first perpetual motion machine on this earth. And then we measure the strength of the signal. At the surface, 3 meters higher, another 3 meters higher. Every time we lift the antenna, the signal was getting stronger, stronger, and stronger. Now the physicists kind of was confused. They said, well, our technology works differently. Closer to the source of the energy, the signal is stronger. You move away, the signal is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and then it disappears. Hertzian technology. However, since everything is upside down in Bosnia, our pyramids work differently. You move away, and the signal is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Moon is getting strength. Non-Hertzian phenomena. In the 21st century, we do not have technology based on non-Hertzian waves. However, the guy who was born between Zagreb and Bosnian pyramids was experimenting with the non-Hertzian waves in 1899 and 1900 in his lab in Colorado Springs. And his name was Nikola Tesla. He invented a transformer with which he was capable of sending energy beams wirelessly from one end of his lab to another, 18 meters away. And he was able to light up the light bulbs, even if they were burned. So before they are going to burn down his lab, because he was becoming too dangerous for the mainstream science, he did a last experiment. He sent energy beam from his lab to the ionosphere around our planet. The beam reflected, coming back to the Earth, much stronger, non-Hertzian phenomena. And then he lit up 10,000 homes in Colorado Springs. So for the first time, one scientist from our civilization cycle has proven that clean energy was possible, that wireless transportation was possible, that unlimited quantities of energy were possible, that non-Hertzian waves was possible, and finally, that free energy was possible. Have American corporations accepted this invention? Of course not. How will JP Morgan sell the free energy and make money? Instead, he cut the funds for Nikola Tesla, and with his colleagues, rich investors, started investing money in very expensive hydro, thermal, nowadays nuclear power plants, building very expensive transformers, building very expensive cables through which we lose 20 to 50% of the electrical energy, so they can sell it to us and users for a lot of money. And this is what is called the profit economy. However, the day will come when the free energy will be available to all of us. And that will be the first pillar of the free society. And the second pillar will be the free flow of knowledge. And based on those two pillars, we're going to have a society of free women and free men. Amen. It's not only the Bosnian pyramids that are still active today. In 2009, the tourist from El Salvador was filming his family in front of the Kukulkan pyramid in Chichen Itza. And he filmed the energy beam going through the top of the Kukulkan pyramid. A few years before that, the Pyramid of the Moon in the Teotihuacan, Mexico, an energy beam. So now we realize why we have a word pyramid, which comes from two Greek words. Fire, the energy in the middle. We were looking for the source of the Bosnian pyramid beam. Sent out raw information to different labs, Zagreb, Belgrade, Vienna. They all told us the same thing. It has to be an iron plate, 2,440 meters below the pyramid. What the pyramid does, it sucks this energy, amplifying. I mentioned electricity, I mentioned magnetism, I mentioned negative ionization. How do we know that the pyramid acts as the amplifier? Two of our Russian colleagues, Professor Khavashkin and Professor Tsiplakov, measured the strength of the signal close to the base of the pyramid and close to the top. At the top, the signal was 50 times stronger. The pyramid as the amplifier. Natural energy sources going through network of tunnels on several levels, going to the pyramid, to the spiral passageways, and going up as a focused source of energy. So it is very possible that at one time, when our planet was much stronger, this pyramid worked as this. Give me more sound now, like this. Besides energy beams, we measured other energy types, the ultrasound. What we can hear is called sound, 10 Hertz, 20 kilohertz. Everything above 20 kilohertz is called ultrasound. We cannot hear, but we can measure. Italian professor De Bertolis, he measured the ultrasound on the top of the Sun Pyramid. In the cold winter, summer and spring and fall. And exactly on the top, radius of 4.5 meters, exactly the same spot where we have electromagnetism, we have at the same time the ultrasound going through this energy beam. The ultrasound is the same frequency, 28 kilohertz. So what we did, we said, okay, if we can hear this ultrasound as a sound, that would be very interesting. So what we did, we converted something that we cannot hear, 28, to something that we can hear, 8 kilohertz, using compounder. 8 we can. So let's see how 8 kilohertz sounds. Let's see how the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun speaks. such messages. Why is this frequency important? 28 kilohertz. American Ralph Ring was experimenting with different frequencies of ultrasound. 21, 22, 23. When he came to 28, he had a table tennis ball, a ping pong ball, above the speaker, sound speaker. At this frequency, the ball started going to the air. It started levitating. He went to bed, leaving the machine on, came back next morning, the ball was still in the air. He concluded, this is the frequency of the levitation. So the ancients were using pyramids, among other things, to get the proper ultrasound frequency of the levitation. Then another brilliant Serbian scientist, engineer Goran Samukovic, brought his equipment, which he designed, to measure more electromagnetic phenomena. And what he did measure, besides 28 kilohertz, he measured ultra-low frequency of 7.83 hertz. In science, this frequency is called the Schumann resonance, the best energy field. Extremely low frequency, ELF, which is the best for our physical, mental, and spiritual ability. And he has measured them in the pyramids, in the tunnels, everywhere in the Bosnian pyramid complex. So what he did, he converted electromagnetic to sound. Now, this will be the sound of the electromagnetism from the moon pyramid. And as you will see, it sounds like a magical music. So what I would recommend you, if you're desiring, this is the best frequency, you can just close your eyes, relax, and imagine yourself inside the moon pyramid. You will hear the whole ensemble. Everything resonates in nature. Tesla was saying 100 years ago that the resonance of our planet is 8 hertz. Von Schumann, 50 years ago, he concluded it's 7.83. It was the only frequency of our planet for thousands of years, until 1990. And then, thanks to the HARP, American Climate Changing Project, thanks to our computers, laptops, televisions, and the mobile phones, microwaves, a lot of bad electromagnetism is going to the ionosphere. And then from there, it's affecting our brain. Frequency of our planet is getting higher, higher, 9, 10, 11, at this moment 16 hertz. And we feel that as the pressure, as the stress. Some of us with the gray hair remember 40 years ago how everything was so much relaxed, no pressure. And we had smiles on our faces. So, until 4 decades, ideal energy field for energy flow through our chakras. And when we think about the future of humanity and possible catastrophe due to our civilization, it will not be because of the Third World War. It will not be because of the so-called global warming. But it will be our technology which will make all of us very aggressive zombies. So, when it comes to purpose of pyramids, it's not about burying one dead body, that one of the pharaoh or the king. It is about very complex energy machines that are supposed to last thousands of years, benefiting the community. We get the same challenges like they had: communication, transportation, clear water, good food, fresh and clean air, senses, freedom. Pyramid was giving to them all these elements. And when we think about the future of science, it is in the combination of physical science and spiritual science. The problem with the physical scientists, when they come to the wall, they have no creativity, they don't know what to do next. The problem with the spiritual science, it is not a science yet. No scientific methodology. For example, a lot of people claiming that they can channel information coming from different star systems, galaxies, spiritual beings, angels, and other entities. I respect them all. But there is one problem: how to verify those information. People would go to those psychics, asking them about their reincarnation, what they were in the previous life. You go there, they let you sit, they said, oh, I feel in the previous life, 2,000 years ago, you were Cleopatra. You go home very happy. Hey, I was Cleopatra, I was Queen of Egypt. But then you read some literature. Oh, in France, there's another guy who did the readings for the client, and he was Cleopatra also. And another guy, and another. All of a sudden, hundreds and hundreds of Cleopatras. How do we verify information from spiritual realm? In the last couple of 100 years, it's been a notion that in the spiritual realm, there was an encyclopedia of knowledge about planetary past and the future, which is named the Akashic Records, or Akasha. People who can tap into that vast knowledge are called Akashic Record readers. So what I did an experiment with 6 Akashic Record readers. But I applied scientific protocols. I had a presentation of 25 different archaeological sites in the world. Machu Picchu, eastern Peru, Göbekli Tepe, eastern Turkey, pyramids in Mauritius, Bosnia, China, Egypt, Mexico. I will show them just one picture and 5 questions. What is this? Who, when, how, and why? I did not tell them about me. I did not tell them what I was going to ask them. They did not know each other. They could not prepare themselves. One of the questions was what they can tell me about the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Reader number 1, Nancy. They are constructed for the purpose of rejuvenation. Reader number 2. When it was originally built, it was a gold-colored structure. They purposely built it as the biggest because of the location on the planet. And now we know, hey, energy sources, makes sense. I was talking to them in 2010, before we started doing energy measurements. They could not read that on the internet. Reason number 3. The structures were built using vibrational techniques. They pulled things up from the earth, and then they slid them down and built pyramids. There are 14 chambers, and they had to do with the sacred geometry frequency. So now, when I was reading that, and I was listening to that, I said, hey, it gives me a hint about the purpose of pyramids, about the inner chambers. There is an energy coming straight down the middle of the pyramid. Now, 3 months later, found out there is energy going up, but now she's saying going down. And most probably, they're right, both of them, going up and down, both ways. If pyramid can emit, it can receive the information and act as an antenna. Reason number 4, you will run into energy when you get to the center. It is like a beam of light. Energy field is very powerful, about 3 meters in diameter. The pyramid was the most important to them because it housed their energy power source. Pyramid as an energy machine. Reason number 5, this was built with the help of the higher vibrational energies. 2 of them saying the same things. What is the statistical probability? Those vibrational energies, we have vibrational energy, rather low. They had a spiritual advancement. The pyramid receives information, remember Valery Uvarov's lecture, and knowledge, and we cannot understand it yet. There is a connection between the pyramids here and all around the world. Inside is energy and something metal in the ground. 2.5 years later, we got information from the labs, Vienna, Belgrade, Zagreb. It has to be iron plate. 2.5 years later, combination of spiritual and physical science. But also there is something unusual. It receives and magnifies energy. What receives and magnifies energy? The quartz crystal. That's exactly what she's saying. There are more formations of stone beneath the pyramid. Feels like quartz crystal. Akashic record readers receives information either like the movie, or they feel the energies and vibrations, series of pictures. She says, feels like quartz crystal. Reader number 6. The pyramid builders came from places that had pyramids. They came where? It seems to our planet. Migrated here, continued the tradition, and then they left them because the pyramid energy was misused. Energy was like a beacon, a transmitter, not tombs. And this energy goes up beyond the stars, feeding other solar systems. They are not just for this planet. Back in June, 2.5 months ago, I prepared the second edition of this book, which is on my table in English. Diana Manilova is the most famous Russian psychic. In the 1980s, they were driving her in Mercedes, bodyguards. She was having a passport in the Soviet Union, healing Secretary General of the Communist Party. The best respected healer and psychic in Russia. I spoke to her in Singapore. She said the Bosnian pyramids were built during the second wave of Egypt, whatever it means. At that time, their religion was love. Sacred geometry was used. The Sun Pyramid in Bosnia is 1.5 kilometers in height, but most of it being underground. So what we are looking, according to her, is just the tip. Crystal was used to bring consciousness to Earth. Consciousness. Higher vibration. Read number 8. Sue Jones from United Kingdom, just last month. This whole complex works in synergy with other energy complexes around the planet. It works with natural elements, and we can see that. Understanding the purpose of water, matter, gas, natural resources. A few words about the tunnels under the pyramids. 1972, Harvard University. The ultimate reference for the scientists around the planet. Their statement, no one should pay any attention to the preposterous claims in regards to presumed passageways beneath the Egyptian pyramids. So they are saying, 1972, there are no tunnels under Egyptian pyramids. These things only exist in the minds of those who seek attention from the mystery seekers. Well, 2 decades later, rather comprehensive research on the oldest and biggest Egyptian pyramids. Guess what? Every one of them has tunnels or network of the tunnels beneath the pyramid. Harvard University. Andrew Collins, independent researcher, 6 years ago, at the entrance of underground tunnels, Giza, the Pyramid of the Sun, Teotihuacan, underground tunnels. They are saying there are no tunnels there, just the pyramids above the ground. Now they are using those little robots, going inside, getting images from what's inside. Palenque, underground tunnels, are doing excavation. 12 years ago I wrote in my book about the Mayan world that they would find tunnels under Palenque pyramids. And only 2 years ago, 10 years after, they did find them under the so-called Temple of Inscription. And then it connects to 3 other pyramids. And then archaeologists are saying it connects to the tunnel system under the whole city of Palenque. And now they are saying there are probably connections with the other Mayan cities. Chinese pyramids, Shanxi province. Under the pyramids, every one of them, network of tunnels leading to chambers. So, 2005, I wrote my first book about Bosnian pyramids. I could see with my own eyes only 2 pyramids, Sun and the Moon. And then I wrote down, we are going to discover a network of prehistorical underground tunnels. Everyone attacked me. Archaeologists from Bosnia, professors, historians, they were saying, what is this Osmanovic talking about? First pyramids, now prehistorical tunnels. It's impossible. Maybe he can find coal mining facilities or natural caves. Well, 10 years later, and I believe some of you were in the tunnels, we have discovered underground complex, huge, the most extensive on the planet, tens of thousands of years old. Entrance, the bottom, light blue, the Sun Pyramid, light blue, 280 meters below the top. 2007, Russian scientists saying from the top, 280 meters, network of tunnels. Now, we discovered the entrance, and eventually we're going to connect to those tunnels. This is how they look like today. Network runs for tens of kilometers. You can see 2 civilizations. First one who built the tunnels. Second one who sealed them off. Brought this filler material Then they were building the dry walls. Dry walls. When did they close them? According to the radiocarbon dating of the organic material, 4,610 years ago. Almost 5,000 years ago. This is our mega ceramic block K2 in 2006. And today, sitting on the support, very important. Somebody placed the support, they put the block, they connected them with the binding material based on calcium carbonate. They didn't want the block to move left or right. Why? 21 meters below the ground, underground water flow. Water moves, releases the energy. They place the block over there, receiving the energy. The surface looks like relief, the hills, the valleys, and the rivers. They took samples, sent them to the lab. I cannot say where, but it is capital of Croatia. I cannot say what was the name of the Institute for Atomic Physics. I cannot say the name of the department which deals with the chemistry. They asked me to send them a sample, which I did. They applied two very sophisticated analyses, Röntgen diffraction analysis and phased analysis. And after they did it, they said this is definitely ceramic material, an artificial material, a synthetic material. And that block's been sitting there for 32,000 years. So what they're saying is somebody had technology over 30,000 years ago to make synthetic blocks of 8 tons. I said, fine, send me a certificate. They said, well, for the certificate, you need to go through the regular channels. Send it to our management. And they're going to send it to us again. Which I did. I was not getting the answers for 3 months. And finally, from the management, they said, we don't have a machine to do the tests. I sent the samples to other 2 labs in former Yugoslavia, best known, Vinča, Stefan. Same answers. We don't have testing instruments. And they advertise those testing instruments on the websites. And they are telling us that there is no communication between former Yugoslav republics. And then the guy who are much more open-minded, also from Zagreb, they brought this georadar instrument to see if there is anything inside the block. What they found was 2 things. First, the block is made in 2 pieces. The base, 30 centimeters, and the cover, 10 centimeters. And exactly in the middle, oval object. Not air, not water, not ceramic, not metal, mineral. Most probably quartz crystal. So what do we have now? 22 meters below the ground, underground water flow releases the energy, hitting the quartz crystal. It starts working. It is surrounded by ceramic, which starts resonating, generating electromagnetic field, which can be measured by our scientific instruments. And we measure 28 kilohertz, which we found through the tunnels and on the top of the Sun Pyramid, and 7.83 hertz, the best frequency, the best energy field for our body, the Schumann resonance. What we are looking at is a technology to produce certain frequencies. And then we are coming to the third element, scientific aspect, we have energy aspect, and now spiritual aspect. You go there, you can feel energy going through your fingers. You can see it tingling, hot or cold. And you realize that you can feel those energies. At some point in the past, our bodies were the best instruments. We could feel negative spots or positive spots. And that's why we built our homes. Today we lost that ability. Nobody teaches us. We don't go to the field schools, to the megalithic sites. We go to our schools, where they make us limited. Animals have those abilities. You just look at a cat. A cat is attracted by the negative energy. She always sleeps there. Underground water flows. Where a cat sleeps, don't put your bed. You're going to get sick in 5-10 years. Where a cat sleeps, there is intersection of Hartmann grid. Don't stay there. Intersection of Curie or Schneider's grid. Don't stay there. That's why cat was holy animal for the ancient Egyptians. She would show the way where not to be. Unlike cats, dogs, they always go to positive spots. Just follow them. You go there, you start feeling the energy. Nice, pleasant. You go wrong with your heart, energy goes there. With your back, you can see beautiful feelings in your back. Balance with the water. Water, very important. Now this video is from this year. And we discovered a new tunnel filled with the water, open section. A drywall, tunnel is inside, somebody closed it. You see difference in material. Gray, this one is more dark. Discovered it, we formed expeditions, archaeology, geology,
Construction, which you call a drywall, and it's got fill of material behind. You can see the consistency of the material, that it's not naturally there, it's humanized there. And there is no binding material between the drywall.
Sad bi bilo stvarno. Evo ga sad iz sjevera i sjevera isto pokazuje se.
Evo, Ana sad može reći u vizitku, još niko nije vidio tako. Human foot has not been here for thousands of years. Imagine the excitement.
It's a classic example of the type of drywall construction that we find in Raven. So we have a tunnel, as you can see, that hasn't been constructed by the foundation, with the drywall placed in front almost as though it's a barrier of some sort, with a fill of material behind, which is really moist, so it's really wet. So if you look at the ceiling is of a different texture and consistency than the fill of material.
Balance with the water. We have made over 10,000 photographs with those perfectly spherical lights. Eventually we figure out it's not just the light. It seems that there is an intelligence there. They come in different sizes. They move sometimes slow, sometimes quickly. They change direction, going zigzag, and they stop. In spiritual science, they are called orbs. Orbs, sometimes as big as 35 centimeters. This particular one is standing between the camera and the tool, which disappears here and continues there. And they always come to the places where we do some jobs, putting the wooden supports. Guide comes with the tourists, and they are gathering around the guide because he's the one who gesticulates, who talks, explaining. But we find them rather supportive. They are very joyful. Orbs. This gentleman from Switzerland, which I mentioned earlier, the one who sold 62 million copies of his books, came to visit us, Erich von Däniken, last year. So we've been in the tunnels for 3 hours. I've been explaining him, and he's 79-year-old, and he's thinking about, when he's going to get out finally. They're going to bring two, one archaeologist, one geologist. And on the camera of his assistant, he can see a lot of flying orbs. You see how they are coming from the side tunnels? Sometimes go quickly, sometimes slow, how they change directions. We cannot see that with our naked human eyes. Our range is too short.
They don't need. They're going to bring their people. So, they brought their guys and they filmed only one scene. Those two guys were running out.
Orbs are coming, hundreds of them now.
And they were saying, Osman Nagic is making the tunnels himself. Everything will collapse.
That's funny too.
So when they prepared the
So I'm talking to Däniken, and he's thinking, my God, when he's going to finish? I'd like to light up a cigarette. All right, now another newly discovered tunnel. I'm there with my dog, Sunny. Let's see what's happening. My little explorer. My black beast. Look how many orbs are coming from the tunnels. You don't see them. Again, they're on camera.
Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you.
Huh? I feel liberated there. I'm taking the camera.
Oh, look how many orbs.
Exactly.
Look.
Orbs. In 2010, we discovered the first chamber, 220 meters from the entrance. This was the entrance to the chamber, and inside the filling material, the filling, tons and tons. We removed everything manually with the wheelbarrows. That's what we do in the tunnels, using wheelbarrows. And then we realized while people are going through the tunnels, deeper they go, they breathe better and better. They come to the chamber, they go outside. Asthma people don't have air pumps, inhalators anymore. People with the allergies are gone. People with the pains are gone. So we wanted to find a scientific explanation. What's happening inside? Measure 3 elements. Number 1, the concentration of negative ions. As the medical science knows, negative ions are good because they clean the atmosphere from dust. They're good because they raise the level of oxygen. They kill viruses and bacteria. In this conference room, when we started conference this morning, concentration was about 100 negative ions per cubic centimeter. By the time I finish my talk, about 2 in the morning, concentration will be only 25. You go outside in Zagreb, 400, fresher. You go to the village, out at the open, 800. By the river, 1,500. In Bosnia, the highest concentration is on Olympic Mountain Igman, between 4,000 and 5,000. I remember as a kid in Sarajevo, people were saying if you have a problem breathing, go to Igman, the top in the forest. Negative ions. And in our chambers, our tunnels, the concentration as you go deeper is rising to 20, 30, 40,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter, being 10 times healthier than on the top of the Igman. Somebody was building underground healing facility. The second element we measured, the cosmic radiation. We live on the surface of the planet, and we like it, we are romantic. We can see the sun, the moon, and the stars. But a lot of cosmic radiations are coming our way. And some of them are very harmful for our body. So, our body cells fight those enemies. In the tunnels, 35 meters below the ground, no cosmic radiations. We walk on the surface, and there is an underground radioactivity. We don't know about it, we don't feel it, but our body cells do. In the tunnels, we brought a team with the Geiger counters, University of Sarajevo. They said the values are 10 times lower than the minimum allowed. So no natural radioactivity. The moment you enter the tunnels, no enemies for your body cells. So they can start doing their job. What is their job? To fix the problems in our body. To start the regeneration process. To start the self-healing process. Self-healing. 10 years ago, when we started our excavation, they were attacking us from the cultural establishment, historians, archaeologists. Very powerful group of people. They had media. But look at now. We have self-healing process. What does that mean? It means that if you're sick, or even before we get sick, we don't buy pills, which don't solve the problems, but gives us 10 more side effects. And now we need to buy more pills for the side effects and more diseases. And all our lives we've been buying pills from pharmaceutical industry, which are not effective. Imagine, self-healing, no need for pills. So our next lobby against us will be pharmaceutical industry. Number 3, pyramids, free energy, oil and gas lobby, coal lobby. Very powerful. Number 4, energy beam, going through the top of the sun pyramid, getting stronger and stronger, going through our ionosphere, going through our solar system, going to any other solar system they wish, establishing energy bridge between 2 planets, planet A, our, and planet B. With the energy bridge, you can move electromagnetism, you can move the frequency, you can move the information. So, the pyramid becomes very powerful communication device. Now, that will get some attention from NASA and other agencies. So, the number of those elite groups who are against us will not be smaller, shorter, it will be bigger and bigger. So we are not for an easy ride in the future. But life is an interesting game. One of the guys who made this interesting also is one of our youngest volunteers, engineer Janez Pelko from Slovenia. He was at my lecture in Velenje, and after the lecture he said, Mr. Osmanagic, well, I'd like to help as volunteer, but I'm a little bit too old for the wheelbarrows. Anything else I can do? I said, yes, what can you do? He said, I have this instrument with which I can measure the human aura, slikanje aure, which was developed by Russian professor Korotkov at the University of St. Petersburg. I said, bring your instrument, and he made a study, 165 people in the last few years, and he was taking pictures of aura before people enter the tunnels and after they come back. Now, on his instrument, aura looks like this, the blue field. If it is continuous, it means you are healthy, well protected. If there are some interruptions, these are some potential problems. This guy here has some problems, obviously. But look at number 2, or number 3, bad. And look at number 4. I don't know how this guy is standing on his feet. The aura. The disease does not come directly to our physical body. It comes to our aura fields. This is just the last stage when it attacks our body. So they filmed me before I entered the tunnels, and this was my aura. On this right side, we can see this field is continuous, and it looks good. Starts left side, and then we can see that here, piece is missing. So Yanis told me, potential problem with the blood circulation. Rest of it was really okay. Spent 2 hours, came back, got filmed again. The right side, a little bit bigger and more distributed than before. The left side, good, good, good. Look at the knee. But I had a hole, self-healed. The rest of it good. The self-healing process. You gave the chance to your body cells without the enemies to do their job. And then water. Some places the water channels are getting to 155 centimeters in depth. But look how it is clear and clean. What is the origin of this water? Last year we had a flood in Bosnia. You would expect water level goes up. It did not happen. It remained the same. This year, dry summer, you would expect the level drops. Did not happen. Always the same, meaning this is not a surface water. It's been there for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. So you would expect that this water is filthy, green, full of microbes. We did at the Public Health Institute in Zenica chemical and microbiological analysis. The results, water is drinkable. No viruses, no bacteria. Conventional analysis. And then we sent samples to the famous Dr. Masaru Emoto of Japan, who unfortunately passed away last year. He became very popular, freezing the water and then filming the molecules of the water. Then he realized different samples look different. If the water is contaminated, it looks ugly. If it is exposed to good energy or nice words, or if it is water from the mountains, it looks beautiful, beautiful molecular structure. What we see here is the tap, the city water in New York. Look how ugly it is. Matter of fact, I just noticed this being. Look at the head. But anyway, ugly. And then this water was exposed to heavy metal music. Heavy metal. Okay? And this water here is from the Fujiwara Dam in Japan. Dam. Power plants. Water plant. Ugly. Now, when you start saying bad words, when you insult the water, you're saying things like, I'm going to kill you. Look what's happening. And as a matter of fact, the guy is here who's going to kill us. Or you say, Adolf Hitler. Look what's happening. Or love you. Love. Thank you. Water remembers. Water memorizes. Even if you say things that you personally don't understand, but bad things in other language, water reacts. Because water speaks more languages than we do. Lake Biwa, ugly, contaminated water. The city water in Visoko, bad. Like the oil on the sea surface. And now let's see how the Bosnian pyramid water looks like. It creates a hexagonal structure, which is very regular. The same like thank you or I love you, mantra of love. Look at those, like crystals. like Christmas trees. This water is energetically alive. This is a happy water because it's been exposed only to the good stuff. The best electromagnetism, 28 kilohertz, the levitation ultrasound, the best original Schumann resonance, the high concentration of negative ions, the pyramid energy. So, the purpose of pyramid energy, let's combine spiritual and physical science. So, from the book, Ancient History from Beyond the Veil, Akashic Records Experiment, question about underground labyrinth, reader number 1. They use materials from the tunnels to build the pyramids. Logically, remove the stones, pebbles, rocks, they use it to make the concrete blocks. Link between the two. There was ecology to it. The tunnels are like the rays of a sun. There is a chamber in the center which is more an open space. There are different levels of ceiling. Right now we discovered only one. By the next spring, 2016, you will hear about the second one. And you are now the first one to hear this. Reader number 2. Beneath the pyramids of tunnels, they are talking about the water. They got a lot of their resources from under the ground. The tunnels were for those who were working with the energy. Certain people could travel into pyramids through these tunnels. What does this mean? You notice that the deeper you go, you breathe better, negative ions, higher concentration, the vibrational level of the tunnels is higher and higher. You clean your body, physical, but also mental and spiritual. You're becoming more pure. It seems that the idea was, once you get to the pyramid, you have to be absolutely pure, physically, mentally, spiritually. Reader number 3, the tunnels were filled with rocks to keep people from getting inside. There is a very deep cavern that connects to a cavern system under the earth. There are beings that are not coming up for some reason. Reader number 4, I see beings walking into the tunnels. Down deep, they actually lived. They closed the chambers off. You knew that they had hidden a certain type of technology that we cannot understand. The Bosnian pyramids, the tunnels, they are not about the treasure, about one dead body. They are about technology. Because this is worth the most. Reader number 5. There was a healing chamber down there. The energy was just right to speed healing body. The hallways are about moving the energy in certain directions. Energy, frequencies. You hear a lot today about those terms. Reader number 6. There is a main room. You will find artifacts, symbols, structures. The tunnels were closed by the later generation, but now it is time to discover this. Reader number 7. Tunnels had purpose to save life. There are different levels. A lot of tunnels. Water was not good at the time, so the pyramid energy was cleaning the water. They had generators for water cleaning, crystal, gold, ionization air, bioproton, whatever it means. They were removing aggression. They would calm down people. The pyramid energy. Imagine if it goes off the pyramid to the cities. Instead of negative energy, the violence, the jealousy, we could become a society based on positive stuff. Reader number 8. Tunnel complex is huge. It's going to take you a good number of years before you even come close to understanding the labyrinth. Thank you, Sue Jones. There is not just one layer, there is another layer underneath, and even a third layer, third level of tunnels in some parts. The ceramic blocks are markers of energy. Ceramic blocks, these blocks here, this one is, for example, egg-shaped. And look at this line. It's actually a lid, a cover. Inside, quartz crystal. This is the egg-shaped block. Now, based on some of the dowsers who are looking for the Hartmann grids, Curie's grids, these places are very important because of the intersection of those grids. Now, Hartmann, for those of you who don't know, there are Hartmann lines, 30 centimeters wide, approximately, going east, west, north, south, every 3 meters, they intersect. Those intersections, bad for us. We call it negative energy. Ancient Sumerians, when they were building their temples, they were placing the stone columns at the places of Hartmann intersections, so people don't go there. We have lost that knowledge, but it's very simple. So, in the case of this egg-shaped block, we have not one, but 2 Hartmann lines, and 2 coming from here, and 1 coming from there for another block. So they purposely position this egg-shaped block above very powerful energy place. Not just one line, Hartmann's, east, west, north, south, but the other ones, Curie's, they run diagonal and they intersect. 2 lines here, 1 line there. Very powerful place, which then later creates a vortex. Vortex, which is connected to this other block. Energies, frequencies. Our block K1, 4 tons. Look at the orbit. Here it is, K1. 2 lines of Curie, 2 lines, and 1 line Hartmann's. There is another block here, which we call K3. There is obvious connection between them, a vortex. Our mega ceramic block, K5, this one is huge, going under conglomerate, between 40 and 100 tons, huge. He just started working there, it was exhausted for him, because he found 3 Hartmann lines, intersect by 1, 2, 1. Very powerful place. So the ancients knew where they were positioning them, because those blocks would neutralize negative energy, transforming it to the positive. And finally, we are coming to the level of science. Electrical engineer from Belgrade, Wilson Vukovic, he measured with his instruments distribution of this energy, which he divided to 4 categories. The green here, the presence of revitalizing extremely low frequency energies, ELF, extremely low, very low. For example, 3 Hertz, very low frequency, is ideal for viruses and microbes, ideal to develop cancer. At 3 Hertz, don't stand there. Go to 6, 7, 8 Hertz, which is excellent. But if you have very powerful frequency, very strong frequency, or Schumann resonance, it is a healing energy spot. And guess what? All the spots that we use today to bring people, K1, we have 2 greens. K3, K2, 2 greens. Healing chamber, 2 greens. So we were right, intuitive. However, he found some spots, the red ones, rather harmful. We noticed that when you are coming to intersection, especially in the shape of letter T, intersection, very bad. Just go through, don't stay there. In the last 10 years, tens of thousands of tourists every year comes to Visoko. So far, probably close to 500,000. Changing the image of Bosnia. Our friend Michael Tellinger said the other day, wherever he goes, when he mentions the word Bosnia, the first association, Bosnian pyramids, not the war anymore. Good stuff. Tourists from 80 different countries coming to see us. They are laying on the Sun Pyramid. All these blocks getting charged with the positive energy of the pyramid. We started several new programs. One of them are so-called expeditions to Bosnian pyramids with volunteering. We show our guests different sites, archaeological, the beauties of Bosnia, Kravice waterfall in Herzegovina, megalithic site of Daurson near Stolas, Dervish House, Teki, very powerful natural spot, Blagaj near Mostar, Bona, exactly, Stečac. So once they see that, they get the tools in their hands and they start working with us. Start the process of discovering with us, having fun at the same time, on the pyramids, in the tunnels. The guy from Holland, Norway, Bosnia, United States, Russia. They come to Bosnia, I ask them always, why did you come? What makes you come here? They tell me the same thing. The guys from Brazil, Peru, New Zealand, Jordan, Pakistan, and Norway, and Slovenia, they say, we had an inner call. The moment they heard about Bosnian pyramids, it was like a vibration. Hey, I need to go there. So they came. There they are in the tunnels, underground. September 2nd, a few days ago.
Tina, and this is Rob.
Rob. Yeah, we're just here volunteering.
What's it like to be in a prehistoric tunnel in the middle of Bosnia?
You're loving it. It's so amazing. The energy down here is awesome.
Yeah. And then we send, we're all in stations, and we send wheelbarrows out to them, and then the empty ones come back.
So you take the wheelbarrow like 20 or 30 meters or
Yeah.
40 meters each and then give it to the next volunteer?
He's explaining how they move the wheelbarrows.
And you'll see
Every
at the
20
entrance,
meters, they change, they get the
that's where
material out.
geologists will start digging through to see for artifacts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
There is from France, there is couple from Michigan.
She's doing all the work, obviously. Oh, no, okay. He's doing some work too. Good.
She's lonely. She wanted to come visit.
Oh, okay.
Her station, there's nobody by her.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so the energy is, for me, it's very easy to breathe. It feels very nice. It's so quiet, and it feels amazing.
So, when we think about the future of humanity, is it, again, with the elite science, selected knowledge they are giving us, with serious and too serious scientists, closed-minded, not ready to share? Or is it with the people like this, open-minded, ready to share, people with a smile on their faces? Thank you very much. a couple of questions. Any questions? Yes.
The healing check. How long do people be exposed to that evidence before they will change more?
Different people, different times need it. In some cases, 20 minutes is just enough. In some cases, in our regular touristic tour, it takes about between 1 and 1.5 hours, the tour. Some people decide to do a meditation after the tour. They go by K2, K1, K5, healing chamber, different places. They're all good. They spend time meditating, relaxing, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour. The volunteers, they work for 6-7 hours a day, and after the work, they don't want to go to a hotel. They want to go and relax, meditate some more. So it's really up to the individual how long they're going to stay. But I would say 1.5 hours is plenty and just enough to see improvement. People also ask if something is fixed after they visit the tunnels, how long it's going to last. I know for cases, the asthma, there was a guy who came in May, it's from Croatia, somewhere, Varaždin or so. With his father, 92 years old, who had bad asthma, he could not breathe. After one visit, he was okay. The guy came again in 3 months and he said, my father is still okay. He didn't need air pumps. I went to Prague to see a guy. He was a tennis player. He had pain playing tennis, and then nothing could help him. Therapies, injection, nothing. Came to one visit in Visoko. The pain disappeared. I saw him 6 months after. The pain was still not there. So sometimes it lasts longer. Of course, this is just the beginning stage. Couple of 3 years, we are seeing these healing aspects. But I would say, again, it lasts individually. In some cases, if you are under the stress, temporarily it can disappear. But once you go back to the same environment with the stressful situation, you're going to become nervous again. I had a director of Sarajevo TV 2 years ago. Now, this guy was under a lot of stress. Bosnia, being director of TV, politicians keep calling you, putting you under pressure. You don't have money for salaries, all kind of problems. The guy was smoking like 3 packs a day, very nervous. And then he saw me on his TV. He said, okay, I'm going to come on Sunday. And he did. He didn't even call me. He was my regular tour guide. And then he called me that evening. He said, listen, I was in your tunnels. They're not my tunnels, but I was in your tunnels. And after the visit, I don't have urge, to smoke the cigarettes. I'm not worrying about anything. I'm totally relaxed. I don't know how long did it last, but I know that a couple of months later they fired him because of the other political options. But in general, you go there and we could see that, for example, if it's something real serious, there is a German, several Germans, but one of them, he built a little hotel near the pyramid. He's bringing people with serious health problems. We don't advertise too much this aspect because people will be calling us names again. And they would have problem with the Ministry of Health, so we let people talk. He's bringing people, some of them with cancer, older people. He has smaller groups, 7 people, 10 people, 12 people, not more than that. He brings them every day to the tunnel and the sun pyramid, tunnel and the moon pyramid, tunnel, tumulus and rapids, getting different energies, tunnel, underground, sun pyramid, cosmic, moon pyramid, different, female energy. Right? So, being exposed to this energy and at the same time going to the tunnels, relaxing, meditating, giving support to your immune system to fight the disease. The results are excellent. And I was telling you about a couple of cases, cancer, medical experts were not giving them 1.5 or 2 months to live, and after 2 years they are still around. So I would say it is individual, but the more intention we put into it, the better results we will have. On the Aura, we learned that. We were filming people before they entered and after they came back. And we would not tell them why we are doing that. But we could see 85% improvement. No improvement, 10% are permanent workers, because they go every day, and some of our volunteers. 5%, worse results, people who are skeptics, who are against this, who are and wearing the plastic materials, PVC instead of cotton. So several elements are important. The biggest our improvement was in the case of a student from Zagreb. We explained him what we were doing. He went straight to K2 block, meditating, focusing, came back. His aura was the biggest after he came back. So the intention, very important. Yes?
So what do you expect when you will enter inside the pyramid?
From the tunnel entrance to the pyramid, 2.5 kilometers. So far we cleaned 1,400 meters. But not straight line, circles. So basically we shortened the way for about 600 meters. So it's still 1 kilometer, 900 meters. If we continue this pace, it will be another 35 years. But in science and in archaeology, it is not about the speed. The Chinese proverb is saying, the road of 1,000 miles starts with the first steps. So we have been doing the first steps. And it is not only about the destination, when we're going to get there. The question is, when we're going to be ready to get there. In order to do that, we need to go through the journey. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We are journeying our way to the pyramid. So when people come to me and they say, hey, you probably won't be alive, won't be around once we get to the pyramid, I said, doesn't matter. The real scientists try to do everything right. If, imagine, we had open way to the pyramid, we would never measure concentration of negative ions, energy phenomena, Schumann resonance. We wouldn't care about it. We would never measure this water structure, molecular, because it would not be important for us. For us, it would be important, oh, there is a way, let's go. It's not about it. It's not about the destination, it is about the journey. You get to the destination, you are absolutely ready. Yes.
Recite mi, molim vas, planina je prekrivena šumom, humusom i ispod toga su oni veliki blokovi ploče. A što je ispod tih blokova ploče? Da li ste bar nešto pomaknuli i ispod išli kopati? Dakle, sama planina, sastav njezine, šljunak, kamen, što je?
1955. Jugoslovenska narodna armija je vršila geodetska mjerenja i nazvala piramidu Sunca brdom Visočicom. Mi sad znamo da to nije brdo, niti da je to planina, niti da je to Visočica. To je vještačka struktura prekrivena betonom, najbolje kvalitete, a nakon nekoliko desetina hiljada godina radom vjetra, ja govorim našem jeziku.
Tako i treba.
Okay, I apologize. So,
što je ispod blokova?
The question was, you have this vegetation, the soil layer, blocks. What is below the blocks? On one place, we found 2 layers of blocks, 75 centimeters each. The other one, 4 layers, 45 centimeters, 45, 40, 45, 45. 4 layers of blocks. Below is clay. Why clay? Because clay is a binding material. And also, clay is waterproof. Clay is thermal insulation. Clay is sound insulation. Clay gives flexibility to the structure. In the case of earthquake, the structure does not collapse, dances, and then resettles. So, blocks, clay. Below the clay, 2 rows of blocks. Below blocks, clay. Below clay, sandstone blocks. And they are all laid out at 45 degrees. Pyramid, 45 degrees. 44, 45. Now, we went as deep as 18 meters with the core drilling device. And these are different layers that we are discovering. Yes. Any more questions? Yes.
I think that you last time said that it's forbidden to dig outside of pyramid, only on the under. So what is now? Is any door
Changes.
inside from outside?
Yes, thank you. In 2006, when we started the excavation, a few weeks before we started, 23 Bosnian archaeologists, geologists, historians wrote a petition to Bosnian government asking them to stop the excavation, even before we started. We started digging, Prime Minister came, saw those blocks, he said, this is man-made concrete. He saw a lot of tourists, he said, this is good for tourism and economy. Keep digging, Mr. Osmanagic. So what these archaeologists, geologists did through the State Commission for the National Monument, they changed the law and made the whole pyramid to be a protected zone because of a very small medieval fortress at the top, 20 by 40 meters. And we were working 400 meters away. So now, the protected zone enlarged the protective area for 97 times. So all our trenches became part of protected area. In other words, they did not want us to dig anymore. So you are right. But where we can dig, close to the base, these are the photos I was showing you. Wherever we dig, concrete, 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 obviously the whole structure is concrete. In the meantime, they did not change the law, 2006. 2008, 2010, 2011, 3 more times. Every time they were adding more protected areas because more scientific arguments we had in our favor. They were getting more and more nervous. They wanted us to stop. But we don't stop. We follow our goal. The second question was about the entrance. It's a door. Now, there are probably several entrances from the surface. Not at the very top, but 5 or 10 meters deep. But like I said, there we are not allowed to dig. So we said, okay, we're going to get to the pyramid. They're going to let us from the surface, we're going to get there under the ground, through those tunnels. Still some time to go, but we are going to get there.
The pyramid is not forbidden.
Most of the pyramids, it is forbidden. They don't let us work. Most of it. Well, I can show you exactly where we can and where we cannot. At the very top was a medieval fortress here. It's like one dot, 20 by 40 meters. Very small fortress. For 550 years it was neglected. Nobody's been doing anything. The Ottomans destroyed it. And we were working here. Our archaeological digs are here. Several areas here, and so on. 450 meters away. So, when they saw that we are finding concrete blocks, all of this became protected area, like this. So we can dig a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. So at the base we can dig, nothing higher. Entrance, of course, there is one from the top, another one here. So we are not allowed. It is forbidden, unfortunately. My original idea was to open huge sections, let's say 200 by 150 meters in the middle. So everybody could see from the highway that we have a pyramid structure, artificially made. They did not let me. Local museum against me. Today, local mayor against us. Federal Ministry for Culture and so on. I was talking about it last time. Everybody against us. I don't talk too much about them, it's negative energy. I want to talk about the positive stuff. But we are finding our ways. We are like the water. Come to the wall, find the way around. The Moon Pyramid, very beautiful, beautiful terraces. Now, we have opened 43 different sections, but the last couple of years we have not been working there. It's a problem with this time private owners. One year they let you work, next year they said, well, if you want to come and go through, you need to pay. We have 6, 7 owners. Every one of them wants the foundation to pay them. I mean, we are not a profit corporation, I mean, archaeological. I said, well, why don't you start selling something? No, they want us to pay for the parking, for going through their properties. So it's very tough to work with them. And there are some, unlicensed guides, they don't speak languages, it's counter publicity really. So it's tough. Sometimes it's tough to work with these people. When they see a chance, they try to blackmail you. So it's not simple. At this point, our 2 favorite destinations where we direct tourists, underground tunnels, planetary energy, the Sun Pyramid. Very strong, powerful cosmic energy. The 2 ideal combination. Yes, I'm sorry.
Can you say a bit more about the second level and the rocket
No. I said in spring. I'm getting hints. We don't discover it. There's no secret there, but we are not there. But we are guessing where it might be. So I'm hoping to find it. So next year, when we go there, I'm hoping to have 2 levels, at least the beginning of the second level. But then again, private lands, and we have to make sure that we do it right this time. Anybody else? Well, I want to thank you for coming today. Tomorrow, our little crew will go to Opatia. I think the ideas we are bringing are very important globally. And our experience is telling all of us that once you have a noble goal in front of you, once you have the scientific argument on your side, once you have your dream to follow, just stick to it and go and never stop. Thank you very much.